Hello, good evening, and welcome to the final curtain raiser of the Toto Awards 2022, where we meet and discover the shortlisted artists in each of the Toto Award categories. In today's curtain raiser, we are being introduced to the musicians who have made it to the shortlist this year. Before that, allow me to introduce TFA. Toto Funds the Arts was established as a trust in Bangalore in 2004. It was set up in the memory of Angiras Toto Velani, who passed away in a tragic accident in Goa on May 24th, 2004. TFA gives young Indian artists a platform to share their work through readings, film screenings, talks, and other arts related events. TFA also hosts annual awards in the fields of music, creative writing in English and Kannada, photography, and short film. Rather than achievement, these national level awards are more in the nature of recognizing potential for artistic growth in these fields. TFA's first award was for music, which was Toto's first love. It was given in 2005, January, making this the 18th edition of the Toto Music Award. The award is supported by lawyer Badri Vishal, who is also a trustee of Toto Funds the Arts. For the 2022 Music Award, we received 219 applications, of which 3 have been shortlisted. They are RANJ from Bangalore, Pina Colada Blues from Pathanamthitta in Kerala, and Niranjan Joshi from Mumbai. The winner of the Toto Music Award 2022 will be announced in a virtual ceremony on the 19th of February. This event, as well as all the curtain raisers, have been supported by Sucheta, Rashmi, Madhavi, and Deepti in memory of their late father, Shantinath Desai, a pioneering modernist of Kannada literature. This evening, talking to the musicians is Vishruti Bindal. Vishruti is a singer, songwriter, music business consultant, and as of a few months back, MA in Global Entertainment from Berklee School of Music, Spain, with a major in live entertainment. In the past, she has routed tours for artists like Guy Buttery, EYM Trio, The Soul, and more. Her recent EP, Changing Cities, was on the Spotify India charts, and she has been here with the Toto Music team since 2019. Apart from music, she loves to cook and compare spice levels of different cuisines to Indian cuisine. Over to Vishruti.
Hello, all. Welcome to the Toto Music Award 2022 Curtain Raiser. And today we have our three shortlisters Ranj, who's from Bangalore and makes soul music in English and Tamil. We have Niranjan Joshi from Mumbai, who's a pianist and is into jazz and contemporary music. And we have Pina Colada Blues from Pathanamthitta, who's an indie composer and electronic music producer who recently got signed to Devon Records. So, welcome all to the Curtain Raiser 2022. And let's start with a brief introduction of you guys, along with how you got into your artist journey. So, maybe we start with Ranj. Ranj, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Hi, so I'm Ranjani Ramadas, also known as Ranj, and I'm actually from Chennai. I was born in I was born in Trichy. I was brought up in Chennai, and I've been living in Bangalore for maybe 5 years. So I'm like based here now, and I actually I've always been into music because of the fact that my parents have always loved both Carnatic music and film music. They, it would always be like a boombox on top of like the fridge where like we're doing chores or whatever we're doing, we're listening to some music. Whether it's like my classes, which my dad used to attend every single one, and he used to tape all of them, and then he used to play it, for the rest of the week every day. Whether it was that or if it was like A.R. Rahman or Ilaiyaraaja. So I grew up being very very obsessed with all of these musicians. And so that's kind of how I got started. I've always been very passionate about singing, and I think it's very common among artists that school sometimes really gets you down, and yeah, math was a subject that I really hated, and I would always turn to music when I got really frustrated with school. I would just be crying, and I would be like, you know what, I'm gonna stop studying, and I'm just gonna put on my favorite songs, and I'm gonna sing them. And then slowly that just turned into, okay, then it really feels like then that's what I'm meant to be doing, because I actually get joy out of this, and it actually like makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. So yeah, so that's how I started with. That's how I decided that I want to do music. And my parents put me in singing class like pretty much when I was 3 or 4 in a Montessori school. So I've been singing pretty much all my life. Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool. I did not know that you started singing at such an early age. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So, what about you, Kevin? How did you get into music and what's your journey been as an artist?
My journey in music started back, when I was back in my first grade in school. So my mom liked to wanted me to play keyboard. So she put me into piano lessons like back then. I wasn't interested that much during that time. But yeah, like when once I reached my 10th grade in school, like I started doing programs with my classmates and all. Then college comes, and there we had these indoor and intra college band festivals. So I was a keyboardist for those kind of events, and that made me into making music more. Like it gave me a new interest to it. So I definitely think college would be my starting point, production wise at least, or the making of music at least. So I'm basically self-taught in production. I haven't, so it was through YouTube videos and all those kind of stuff. So that's how I figured out production, and thanks to the knowledge of piano and keyboard or keyboard because of my mom, it became a bit more easier for me. Back during the lockdown, the first lockdowns, I started making original music, and that's how it all started. That's how Pina Colada Blues started.
Wow, pretty cool. That's super cool that you started like during the lockdown, and so much has happened which we're gonna come back to in last 2 years for you. So what about you, Niranjan? What was your journey as an artist?
Hi everyone, first of all. For me, uh, it has been a roller coaster, not like roller coaster, but I'd chosen the different things while growing up. Like I started with tabla as a kid at the age of 7, but my actual journey started after college, like exactly 11 years ago, actually, where I was sure that okay, music is something which I want to make a career in, and I want to take that path because like I have a musical background. My uncle and my other aunt, like my dad's side and my mom's side, both have like a musical following, and I come from a very different background with ghazals and classical music. So as a kid, I my uncle taught me to play the tabla, but given the fact that I was very shy and also very chanchal jisko bolte hain, so I was like, okay, I don't want to do this now. Okay, I'm gonna go for sports because I loved football, and my first love is badminton. So I played states badminton. So during college, school and college time, I was not really in touch with music at all. I was mostly into sports. But then when I grew up, I had a gaming this thing. Like I used to game, like play CS and all the other internet games, Warcraft, which you also call. From there, I was like, the music was always there. So it just took me a little time to realize, like, okay, you know what, you don't, you're like, you're really bad at academics, so definitely don't take that. So and then I kind of revisited with the tabla for a while, but then I wanted to try something else. So I had a small keyboard which my dad had gifted me when I was a kid. So I started playing that by ear, and then slowly I got into proper studying the piano when I was 20 or something. And yeah, that's the time when I started studying classical music, Western classical. So finally, after sports, dance, and all of that, gaming, I just decided that yeah, let's do this. So around 11 to 12 years ago, I just started playing the piano, and I was studying in Paris, which was from 2015 to 2017. So I had some written compositions which I just thought, okay, I should just start working on it somehow and somewhere. So yeah, last lockdown I wrote my first EP, which is the Placebo Effect, Volume One. So yeah.
So Niranjan, tell us how was it to because I read about you and you've played with so many artists of different genres, different styles, with collectives, etc., etc. And how was it to transition from that to then your solo journey of releasing piano music, and how did you get into that part of artist identity and branding, and what were some things you were thinking about, and what made you kind of release your solo repertoire into the world?
Okay. I got a really good push from my wife. Now my wife. So, I just played her some songs which I used to compose, or just on the piano or something. And then she was like, dude, you should just like get this out somehow, and just go with it. Deep down you know that okay, this is something I want. This one particular thing, if I just try to push myself and do that, I think I'm going to make my own way and start doing what I really want to do. So talking about other genres is because I have been brought up in such an environment where classical music and semi-classical ghazals and all these other genres were heavily influenced on the music which I was playing. It became really easy for me to switch on, switch off with certain genres. So I think that lockdown helped me a lot to again revisit my own self as an artist, as a human being also.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's get to Ranjani. Ranjani, what was your process like of releasing your solo music, and how did you thought of your how did you build your artist identity and branding? Because I've seen you live many times in Bangalore, and you've been a part of multiple projects, right? But we were all eagerly waiting for your solo music to come out. So how was that journey for you?
It's been quite a lot of fun. I would say that I'm still figuring out, where exactly I want to be. In fact, I just like to do as many kinds of music that I vibe with, that I like. But okay, it just kind of started. I am like a very much like I was like a band girl. I had like a couple of bands, and I really enjoyed the support of working with people who are like good at what they are doing in terms of their own instrument, and just like sort of like adding on to that, and like bouncing off of that. So that was always like really great. But in when the lockdown happened, it wasn't possible for me to do that anymore. And but whatever's inside, the creativity needed to come out in some way. And actually, I give a lot of the credit to my roommate at the time, Loyal, who was like such a wonderful person. He saw something in me which I didn't see at the time at all. I really enjoyed R&B and rap music so much, but I had never really seen myself doing my own thing in that space. But he, for some reason, sent me a beat and he said, I want you to write your own verse. And nobody had ever done that with me before. And I ended up doing it. And I realized how much I enjoy doing that it's never something that I wanted to procrastinate or I didn't want to do. It was always something that felt right. It felt like stimulating to my brain. It felt like I was being useful and I was worth something. And or more like what I was making was worth something or worth a lot to me. So that's kind of how I decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna write my own songs. Um I'm gonna try to make the kind of music that I love listening to. So that's kind of how that happened. Yeah.
Nice. And what was your process like when you were writing music, and were you looking for collaborators? Because we see a lot of collaborators on your EP, for example. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So the collaboration on my EP that just happened because of the lockdown again. As in, I had a lot of songs with Clifford, of course, because we work really well together. As like I love his production, and I don't know. Every time we make songs, it just really clicks. So I had a lot of songs with him, and I also had a lot of songs with the other producer, Isamud. And because of course we were part of a band, and that band was started by us just writing songs together with him on the guitar and me just writing. So I was very comfortable with both of them, but then the three of us were like sort of stuck together, and we had the virus as well. So it just we were just like really bored and sad one evening, and we're like, you know what? Let's just make some music, all three of us together. Why not? And that's just kind of how that happened. I love collaborating with people because for me, when it comes to writing, I really love storytelling is like the most important thing to me, and I really love going off of a prompt or an idea or something that I get from the music. So like it's sort of like somebody has put down all the musical ideas, and for me to put them to words and give them like a narrative is like very very interesting for me. So yeah, so that's I love collaborating with people, and that's kind of how we made an EP, the three of us.
And so let's get to you, Kevin. Tell us a little bit more about your journey, because I know that you were in a band, and then you said that before, during the first lockdown, you started producing, and now you're signed with Sony's new age pop label. So how was that for you, and how was it building your artist identity and branding?
I haven't been part of a big band or a band which is like at least in the local. It's not. I haven't been part of a band which is like popular in the local area yet. But yeah, I mean, it was just back in school and college. I liked being part of bands. Being part of a group, making music, yeah, or covering our favorite songs. So that's how it all happened. And when college started, my roommate basically he knew a bit about production. He introduced me to the software I use, FL Studio. And after that, what happened was, everything was like it was. I just started it as a time pass or a hobby, all those kind of stuff. If you had asked me back in my first year of college, I would never have expected me to make music after college or something like that. So that's how it all started. And during the last year of college, I started working on my first single, Tennale. It is basically a Malayalam song, and the lyrics was written by my classmate, and the singer was also my batchmate. So we were like cool, close friends, and we used to like hang out at my place near college, and we figured out how we can do this stuff. We needed a different sound in Malayalam, so that's how it all started. And once the lyrics came in, then I tried my hand at composition, and somehow it clicked. And then I became a composer, music producer after that. And because of the lockdown, I was able to make more songs, and you know, uh, and I think that's making consistently songs. That most probably that's why how I fell in the radar for Sony, and I'm actually happy that things worked out in that way. I wasn't expecting it, but somehow it happened.
Cool. And could you tell us a little bit more about the process of being a producer? Because you're constantly collaborating with other people, singers, musicians. So, what is that process like for you? And what is an ideal case scenario for a collaboration? How does it all come together for you?
I consider myself a composer first more than a producer. So, the song usually starts with me on the keys, and I just hum the vocal melodies for that. Since, I don't sing much, I plan not to, sing on my own songs, at least as of now. So that's how it starts. And once I have a demo of the song, basically the piano and me, uh, most probably by the end of that, I would definitely have someone in my mind for the vocals. Like if I don't, I most probably will know who I should give the song to, like who I should call in for this track. So once the singer is like set, then I have some lyricist friends of mine who do stuff in Malayalam, and also similarly, the English tracks I have done is collaboration, so the lyrics is written by the singers itself. So if it's like a Malayalam song, basically the lyricists write the lyrics according to the tune, and then we send it out to the singer. Most probably friends of mine, and most within a week or two we get the demos in, and once that is like got back, I start working on the production of the song, like how the song should go forward, like how should the what genres should be there in the song. And I try my best not to not to like limit myself to one genre in each song. So most probably there will be like transitions in between. So that's something I try to do.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I'd love to know, Kevin, you're preparing a performance for us. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about what it's going to look like?
Yeah, so what I have in mind will be a solo set. I haven't done such a, such a thing before. Like, so it is completely new to me too. So doing something alone without a vocalist or featuring someone. So it is going to be something new, and I hope it will be interesting for everyone who's going to check that out. And I have put in a surprise in between too. I have that in my mind. So yeah, once that is recorded, I believe it's going to be fun.
So now we're gonna go to Pina Colada Blues performance exclusively for Toto Music Awards live for the very first time with freestyle exploration of their sounds.
Those sunflowers like sunshine. Why they gotta turn to him all day? Cause they're just yellow. I don't think so. Those sunflowers like sunshine. Why they gotta turn to him all day? Cause they're just yellow. I don't think so.
So, Niranjan, coming to you, you've collaborated with a lot of people as well, and then you released your EP. So, what is the future of your solo project? Do you see yourself collaborating with different artists, different who maybe play different instruments, or what does it look like? Do you have something in mind?
So this is going to be a 4-part EP. So this is just the volume 1 last year, which was the volume 1. This year it will be volume 2, which I will be collaborating with a lot of people. Already in works of it. Like I've started the like arrangement process of it, and so it's like a so the end goal is to record like a big band, because that's always been my dream, to record like right horn sections, and have like a proper uh, I don't know if it's right, but like have a Disney sound to it. That's what I have in mind. It's like Disney has been the best. Disney can be the best example of what I can actually tell here. And because I've been in that, I'm also listening to a lot of big bands, and I've learned all of that. So I really want to put it to work in my own work, so that I I can validate myself, like, okay boss, cool, let's do this, let's go for it. Also art in general, I just don't want to stick to music, but I want to try something like really different, like graphic. I already have a music video out with a friend of mine, Aman Jagwani, who's a kick-ass drummer. And we did this one experiment with like that one track was completely improvised. Like there's no written chart out. Like I just one fine day I was like on the computer on Logic, started playing something, and in those 2 minutes, that's exactly what came out, and that is where I produced the track, and then Aman played over it. So like stuff like this, just knowing what exactly I'm best at and exactly working towards that. So I have few plans to definitely work with a lot of musicians here in India. Like, yeah.
Wow, that's really exciting. Ranjani, what about you? What are your upcoming releases look like?
I have a lot of collaborations that I'm really excited about. Some are like in the pop and R&B space. Some are like a bit more jazzy. Some in Tamil. Some in more in English. But yeah. And apart from that, I'm actually really enjoying just trying to learn a little bit of production on my own. Obviously, it's not like anything. It's not like I'm gonna make a track and like put it out or anything like that. I'm just really enjoying making mistakes and like making something stupid, and then getting a bunch of talented people to work their magic on it. And like, yeah, I'm just like I said, I love working with people so much, and so yeah, that's mainly what I've been doing.
Wow, that's really exciting. So, what about you, Niranjan? What does your performance look like? Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah. So that's again, it's gonna be a new song which I'm writing. The name of the song is called "My Gods Are Gender Neutral," and I don't know. It talks a lot about what I have been experiencing with that particular song, and it's gonna be a solo performance on with me and my piano.
We now have Niranjan Joshi performing his new unreleased composition, My Gods Are Gender Neutral, exclusively for Toto Music Award. So I want to ask you all a question. Um, do you guys see your music existing without social media existing, and how would that be? Because we were all born in the age of social media, and it seems like it's a very important tool now to kind of communicate who you are as an artist, or even make sure your music reaches the right audience. What do you guys think about that? And feel free to jump in. Whoever wants to maybe take it first.
even before we had social media, there was like SoundCloud. I used to be making like covers in school and putting them up on SoundCloud, and it's like not even listenable now. But I feel like social media has just been like it's just a way to sort of keep posting your work just so that you can make sure that it exists outside of your head. I think that's like that has been like the main reason. I think why now it has become such like a huge thing is because as humans we are like such people oriented, like such a yeah, we love talking to each other and connecting with each other, and because of the pandemic we just haven't been able to do that, and social media has just become it's the only way that you can do that. So that's it's become very sad that like all the we are facing, you know, all the detrimental effects of, you know, depending on something so much for human connection, which is supposed to be like a essential thing for us. So I think that's that it for me it exists more as just a place to put down my ideas and a place to practice rather than anything else.
Cool. That's a really interesting way to think about it. What do you guys think, Niranjan and Kevin?
Discovered most of the genres which I now make, or like the songs which I hear now on Spotify or Apple Music. It all came through SoundCloud. I started through SoundCloud, like listening to music, and I used like drop snippets or like random beats, and all were like kept there. Like I still have a lot of demos, unreleased stuff in SoundCloud, but I do not have the project files for that. So that's where that was basically the social media for producers, at least back maybe 5 years at okay, maybe 2 3 years back at least. That was basically social media for some producers. So Instagram and Facebook, they help promote the music a lot, like stuff like reels, stories, and the option to share songs through stories. Basically that helps bring in the streams and views, or the numbers can be bought in through that stuff. I would prefer just YouTube and SoundCloud, to be honest. But again, Instagram helps bring the numbers, or like make your music reach different people, or like people who do not know your stuff, or like people who may not even listen to the music. I like Malayalam or like the regional languages. The such social media helps promote such stuff, or like to reach such audiences.
Like I agree to what Ranjani and Kevin said. Like it is a different ball game in its own. You know, because with posting stuff almost every day, or once in 2 days, uh, keeping it fun and keeping it light, not keeping it too heavy. For me personally, it becomes a really it becomes a task, because I'm not that active on social media. I think the most active I have been was last year to promote my music. But even after that, I still find it very hard to post something every day or every 2 days. For me, it becomes, how do you say, yeah, it becomes a task to just be something which you're not, or you if you want to still be something which you are. It plays it this is something which I am personally, this is my personal experience with Instagram, or just not saying names, but in general social media, has been that it becomes very hard for me to, okay, what should I play now, what should I do, okay, which, like, what is it, what do I have in my list, so which I can post it. So if something comes to me, I just post it, and if something doesn't, I don't. It's, for me, it works that way.
You talked a little bit about how as a kid you used to learn tabla and you also were into dance. So apart from music, what other things from Indian culture do you draw on as inspiration?
Hmm. That's a good question. I won't say it was non-musical, because I don't know if everyone knows Lejim, this dance form. You have these two, like, it's like a, it's definitely a part of Marathi culture, Maharashtrian culture, where people have play these tambourine sort of thing attached to a stick both ways. One stick is longer, one stick is shorter. The shorter one you hold it in your right hand or left hand, and then you hit that to the longer stick so that it makes a certain sound. In school there was this Legion camp where which I was a part of, and I was there for like 2.5 years in that camp. So we used to go to different places in Maharashtra. So that kind of grew on me because it was super rhythmic and super up tempo, and you're having fun. You're making formations while you are playing the Legion. So that part, I think, experimentation and improvisation, I think I can pick. Now that I think of it, it came from there as a kid.
Really cool. What about you, Ranjani? I remember reading about your music video where there was an inspiration from a film, and I see a lot of the branding where I see a lot of prints and really interesting motifs and things like that. So, what other things do you draw on apart from music for inspiration? You as an artist?
Well, like I said, I really love stories. So a lot of the times, um, I really like to take inspiration from books, and like for example, the art for the song that I released, my first single actually called "That Way," was like inspired from the cover of a Murakami book, and I don't know. I just like love art in all of its forms, and movies have had like a huge impact on me. Movie music, musicals. I used to be obsessed with musicals, and yeah, we did one in college as well. So all of these things just sort of teach me a little bit more and more about like music and like maybe showmanship, and I don't have like a very definite answer, but yeah, just from everywhere.
It's pretty cool. And what about you, Kevin?
No, I used to do poetry a bit, but nowadays I don't do that much. Again, I used to draw, paint. Nowadays I don't get time for that. But yeah, again, those were like pictures and small poems. Are like it provides inspiration to me at times. Like for some songs, like maybe I might get a thought process behind a song from a small, maybe a short poem. And Malayalam is my mother tongue, and that is, I think, the main reason why I prefer, or like why I like making songs in Malayalam. So the lyrics, usually, the thought process behind the lyrics is, I want to talk about stuff that people can connect with, but it needs to be in a simple way, and it also needs to be, I want it to be represented in a way that it can be kept on the shelf, with the international music, or like that kind of standards, at least in the future, using lyrics that are simple, or that can be connected, or and also at the same time talk about some stuff that I have went through too.
There are definitely certain emotions and certain things that I can only say in Tamil, that I can only express in Tamil. And I never ever want to let go of that part of myself, no matter where I am. So it was really important to me to, to write in Tamil, to keep, to keep that side of myself always vocal. So, yeah.
And finally, here's Ranj performing her debut Tamil single, Nee Mattume, live for the very first time, exclusively for Toto Music Award.
So I like to listen to a lot of very very old folk music from Maharashtra, and then Karnataka also, and uh, Assam. Yes, and internationally speaking, I like a lot of Israeli music, which is also like somewhat connected to um, Indian culture, not culture, but musically speaking, it is really in relation to that, and also some of West African music. A lot of Second Sight, uh, who has been like really an inspiration to, even listen to, and Ranj for that matter. I heard her one of the songs which was in Second Sight's choral album. Absolutely fabulous writing and singing, and like the whole composition in general. Then there is Aman Jagwani's project. Different, very different sounds in all, and really, really inspirational for all of us, I guess.
I love the Indian indie scene. I think it's so amazing. I loved the music of a lot of the long listers, Sangeeta, Temsu Clover. Temsu Clover I discovered because of the long list, and I was like, it's such a lovely and beautiful and calming sound. I really enjoyed that. And I just, yeah, I think that we are creating like so much uniqueness and so much, we are upping our quality game. I think it's so amazing. I love the F16s. I love I love this recent foray of mainstream artists into the indie scene. It really makes everyone say, "Oh, I listen to indie music now," which is great. It's giving all of us like such an amazing boost that we really need. Like for example, Santosh Narayan, and of course, I love Arivu, and yeah. So I think like a lot of so many exciting things are happening in the Indian indie scene.
I believe there's a lot of talent out there. Vocalists, producers. There are like really genre bending producers out there too, and that is like something really great. So nowadays I'm listening to artists like so there are like some producer artists who I listen to because their sound is like really great. Like Dropped Out. Then there is this person called Manin. Then I also listen to Ranjan Clifford's songs. So in that R&B pop spectrum too. Then I listen to the Malayalam, India, and Tamil indie scene too. There are artists like Anand Kashinath, Sublasini, etc. Then in Malayalam there is some artist like Cicero Naimon. He is a very innovative producer out there, and yeah, it's like really there are like a lot of gems in the indie scene who are still not discovered yet, and I hope like they get the audience they deserve soon.
It was really great talking to you all, Ranj, Pina Colada Blues, and Niranjan. And I wish you guys all the best for the awards that are going to be held on 19th Feb. And I really look forward to seeing you there. Good luck.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much, guys. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Vishruti.